You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6.
Coming up, a Supreme Court showdown. The latest developments out of Washington as a second Brett Kavanaugh accuser comes forward with new sexual assault claims. Plus, we'll tell you why Bill Cosby is close to becoming the first celebrity sentenced in the Me Too era, and how families in Massachusetts are set to be compensated for damages after a recent string of deadly gas explosions. All on this hour of Good Morning Suncoast. Good morning, I'm Erica Jackson. Stephanie and Ray are both off today. It's 6 o'clock on Monday, September 24th. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's head over to First Alert meteorologist John Scalzi for a first check on your weather.
Thank you very much, Erica. Quiet morning on the Suncoast. Don't expect to see any kind of rainfall during your morning commute. Everything is dry out there. Temperatures generally running mid-70s in inland areas, closer to the 80 mark the closer you get to the coastline. And we have a little residual cloud cover, but nothing really heavy. That should mix away just fine. And as we head into the morning hours, plenty of sunshine will drive temperatures rapidly into the 80s, and we'll top it out today in the low 90s. Once again, so another warm, hot day in store with about a 40% chance of showers. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
John, thank you. Taking a look at First Alert traffic, just a few slowdowns coming over the bridges into Manatee County, but other than that, all clear in that area. In North Sarasota County, not too much that we see on the maps right now, just a few slowdowns in different spots, and in South County, just a few slowdowns on US 41. New developments out of Washington, where there is now a second person accusing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct. ABC's Lana Zach has the latest from the nation's capital as the Senate Judiciary Committee sets a date to hear from Christine Blasey Ford, Kavanaugh's first accuser.
Just after the Senate announced the details of Dr. Christine Blasey Ford's testimony against Judge Brett Kavanaugh, a second person announced that she had a Me Too moment with the nominee for the Supreme Court. This woman, Deborah Ramirez, a former Yale University classmate of Kavanaugh, says he exposed himself to her at a party 35 years ago, according to The New Yorker. Ramirez says her incident happened at a drunken dormitory party. She says she was forced to push his body part away from her.
When someone steps forward and accuses another person of this kind of sexual assault, it needs to be taken seriously.
Earlier, Democrats had been urging Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley to slow down Kavanaugh's nomination. Together with Blasey Ford, they asked for additional witnesses at Thursday's hearing and an independent investigation. But Grassley's accused the Democrats of playing games, overnight releasing this statement. They are more interested in a political takedown than pursuing allegations through a bipartisan and professional investigative process. Through it all, President Trump has maintained that the investigation should stay with the Senate. Here he is with ABC affiliate WTAM.
I want her to have her voice. Let her have her voice. Let her say whatever she has to say. Let him say what he has to say. And at the end, the senators will make a choice.
The White House says it stands firmly behind Judge Kavanaugh, who categorically denies both accusations, calling it a smear, plain and simple.
But that might not be the last of it. Senator Grassley's office is requesting evidence from lawyer Michael Avenatti, who claims to represent what would be a third person with allegations against Kavanaugh. Senator Dianne Feinstein is calling for an immediate postponement of his nomination. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
And men and women across the Suncoast took a stand over the weekend in response to the allegations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. A crowd of women and men gathered at the Sarasota County Courthouse with blue tape over their mouths and the hashtag #MeToo prominently displayed. They say they are standing with Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, sharing their own stories of assault.
There was a molester. He did molest many girls. Unfortunately, those girls did tell, and nothing happened. And I see that happening today, where Dr. Ford is telling what happened, and instead of being an investigation, nothing is happening. So I support Dr. Ford, and I'm really concerned about the young women of America.
That's me. But it also energizes me that the more that we tell our stories, the more that we organize and stick together, the closer we'll get to solving the problem.
The hashtag #MeToo first went viral on social media back in October of 2017 to try and bring attention to the widespread prevalence of sexual assault and harassment, especially in the workplace. Happening today, the man once dubbed America's Dad is close to becoming the first celebrity sentence in the Me Too era. Bill Cosby will be back in a Pennsylvania courtroom for the first day of his sentencing hearing today. Cosby was convicted back in April on 3 felony counts of drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constand in his home in 2004. Cosby has insisted any sexual encounters with her and other accusers were consensual. But one of the 12 jurors who convicted him says there was one key piece of evidence that led to his stunning fall from grace.
I think it was his deposition, really. Ms. Cosby admitted to giving these quaaludes to women, young women.
Cosby and Constand may come face to face again as she takes the stand to deliver her victim impact statement. Cosby's defense team says they will be desperately fighting to stop the courtroom from designating the comedian as a, quote, sexually violent predator. Also happening today, South Korean President Moon will be attending a summit with President Trump in New York. The meeting is partly to arrange a second summit between the U.S. and North Korea. Moon will deliver a keynote speech later this week in a meeting with the United Nations. Moon is also scheduled to hold bilateral summits with Chile and Spain before returning home on Wednesday. And President Trump is proposing new limits on green cards and visas. The proposed rule would make it more difficult for immigrants who would benefit from various forms of public assistance, like food stamps and housing subsidies, to stay in the country. The Department of Homeland Security made the announcement over the weekend, saying the plan is to help protect taxpayers. The controversial owner of a company that makes untraceable 3D printed guns is back in the U.S. this morning after his arrest in Taiwan. Taiwan took Cody Wilson into custody after he was accused back in Texas of paying for sex with an underage girl. Wilson is being held on $150,000 bail on that sexual assault charge.
I don't know that my detectives have ever sat down with a predator who willingly said, I knew the victim was underage.
Wilson sparked controversy starting in 2013 when he uploaded blueprints online for 3D printed guns. He has not yet entered a plea on the sex charge. If convicted, he could face up to 20 years in prison. A follow-up now on that series of fatal explosions in Massachusetts. Authorities say Columbia Gas has agreed to compensate its customers for all losses related to the blasts and fires. Earlier this month, the explosions killed 1 person, injured 25 others, and damaged dozens of homes and businesses. An investigation is now underway into exactly what caused the blast, but the NTSB says pressure in the gas line was 12 times the proper amount just before the explosions. For the latest on this story, plus breaking news and your up-to-the-minute First Alert forecast, head over to our news app. You can find it in the App Store under WWSB or My Suncoast. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, as cleanup continues from Hurricane Florence, we'll take a look at what FEMA is doing to help residents recover from the deadly storm. And coming up at 6:30, we'll have an update on a Pinellas County father accused of throwing his daughter off a bridge near the Sunshine Skyway. But first, let's take a live look at Washington. We're looking at the Capitol building this morning at 6:07, and now let's check in with our First Alert forecast with John Scalzi.
Well, if you're thinking about heading to the beach today, and that might be a good idea because it's going to be a warm afternoon, topping out in the low 90s once again. It'll be 87 at the beach. We'll have a west wind, maybe some afternoon storms, but they'll be in inland areas mostly, not close to the coast, and the UV index is at 10. Latest marine spotter reports are pretty good. They show generally that easterly wind has done its job, and a lot of the beaches are now reporting just low amounts of red tide irritant in the air, and some beaches reporting none at all. So that's good news there. We'll have the complete forecast coming up in a few.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Planning a Carnival Fantasy Cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night, or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night, and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. And right now, you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $229 a month, or get 0% financing with zero down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
No, I have a 76-degree air temperature, a dew point value coming in a little bit lower at 75, but still plenty humid out there with 97% relative humidity. We have a little cloud cover as well. It's thin cloud. It should mix away pretty quickly. It's the residual leftover from some earlier activity out in Gulf waters, now just leaving that kind of debris cloud hanging around. As we head through the morning hours, our daytime temperatures will start to rise pretty quickly because we'll have plenty of sunshine as these clouds begin to mix away. That'll leave us with a daytime high temperature in the low 90s once again, so it's going to be very warm again this afternoon. And then as we head into the afternoon, we'll also start to factor in a chance of rainfall, showers and thunderstorms, building in inland areas, first drifting to the coast, a pattern that we have come to know across the state of Florida in the summers with this easterly wind flow. Already the easterly wind kicking up a few showers over on the other coast. Quiet right here right now, so our morning commute should be rain-free and should be a-okay. No issues weather-wise to talk about yet. The easterly wind flow around the underbelly of a high-pressure ridge. This high is expansive and moves across the entire peninsula out into a large area of high pressure in the Atlantic. That tends to bring us this easterly wind flow without much change in direction, except in the afternoon when we develop that sea breeze close to the coast. The wind will take showers and thunderstorms, move them from the other coast. When they hit our sea breeze, they tend to become bigger storms, and then they produce their lightning and heavy downpours of rain as they move out into Gulf waters and dissipate. So for the next several days, we'll watch this east wind turning west near our coast because of our localized sea breeze, but generally across the state of Florida, we'll continue with an easterly wind most of the day. And then inland storms that build in Hardee and DeSoto counties and move to Gulf waters. Warm all week long. Now, if you look at this graphic, this shows you the amount of moisture available in the air to produce showers and rainstorms. And redder is wetter in this map. So we have a good chance of seeing some showers today. But as we progress through time by midweek, we start to see some of this drier air beginning to work its way in. So I think by the end of the work week, I think our rain chances will go down fairly significantly. We're watching a couple of areas of disturbed weather. Disturbance number 1, closest to us, has about a 40% chance of forming over 5 days, but will lift off to the north closer to the Carolina coast before recurving back out into open waters. Unlikely to ever become a named storm, but if it did, it would be called Michael. In any event, it'll probably be a coastal rainmaker for the Carolinas. The other two storms, well, Leslie's not an issue for us. It continues to lift away from us. And Kirk, we'll watch it. Forecast models continue to show that by the end of our week, it will probably be in the Caribbean and perhaps be in a dissipating stage by then. Southwest wind comes in, turning to the west during the afternoon with a sea breeze at about 10. 40% chance of showers today, 30 for the next several days. As we head into the weekend, perhaps some of that drier air working to reduce our rain chances to about 20%. Back to you, Erica.
All right, John, thank you. Taking a look at first alert traffic, just a few slowdowns coming over the bridges into Manatee County. But other than that, all clear on our maps in that area. In North Sarasota County, not too much to show you right now, just a few slowdowns in some different spots. And in South Sarasota County, just a few slowdowns on US 41. And happening tonight, a single lane is closing in Sarasota County from 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. on Pine Street between State Road 776 to the Sarasota County line. The contractor will be resurfacing the road there beginning tonight through October 5th. Traffic signs and flaggers will be on site as needed to direct traffic. Drivers, you may experience a detour, so keep that in mind and remember to stay alert, especially when driving around construction workers. Finally, some good news for the Big Island of Hawaii. Volcanoes National Park is now back open to tourists. Back in May, the Kilauea eruption led to countless explosions and rock falls, making it too dangerous for employees and visitors. The popular tourist spot was closed for 134 days, the longest closure in its history. Officials say the park is now open 24 hours, but parts of it is still off limits due to some safety concerns. An update now out of North Carolina, where FEMA has now opened a disaster recovery center as residents continue to return to their homes and the damage following Florence. Reporter Morgan Norwood takes a closer look at how the center is hoping to help those still in need.
You know, after a hurricane, you often hear things like, be grateful for life. And yes, that is true. It's really the most precious thing here on earth. But what happens when everything that you spent most of your life building washes away? It's an unbearable pain for Army veteran Thomas Pullum and Shamina Moore.
It meant the life to me. Now it's ruined.
You know, it's very distressful on the family, on you, your job. You know, you lose everything.
Today, FEMA opened its Disaster Recovery Center to help residents put their lives back together. Set up inside the Cumberland County DSS building, agents meet one-on-one with residents to walk them through that process.
We work with every household on a case-by-case basis. We're listening directly to survivors about what their needs are, what kind of damage their homes have.
And it's a seemingly never-ending list for Shamina Moore.
Property damage as far as the walls, water coming out down the walls, the floors, the carpet, furniture, clothes, electronics.
And before you come, FEMA wants you to have everything itemized like that. Take pictures, bring documentation, bank statements, insurance information. It just makes this process a little easier.
And as millions work to recover from Hurricane Florence, Congress is considering a relief package to help with those efforts. The package would include almost $2 billion in relief funding, but lawmakers are already facing a deadline this week to fund the government before the start of the new budget year, which starts on October 1st. Should the package pass, the money would be available as grants to states to help rebuild housing and public works and assist recovering businesses. And new this morning, the Cajun Navy is helping move their resources to get supplies to people. Their command center at a church in Wilmington, North Carolina, has turned into something of a full-service grocery store, open 24 hours a day for people to come by and get what they need. They were also delivering some supplies by boat. This is a pretty impressive operation that they say is always staying busy. And remember, you can download our free ABC7 weather and news app in your app store for the latest details and weather alerts wherever you are across the Suncoast. In Health Smart this morning, the silver lining of carrying certain gene mutations is that they allow for early detection and treatment of cancer. But what if the vast majority of people carrying those mutations aren't even aware that they have them? ABC's Linda Lopez explains.
It's what Angelina Jolie brought so much attention to, the BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes that cause increased risks of breast, ovarian, prostate, and skin cancers. If doctors can detect a BRCA gene early, they can head cancer off at the pass with surgery. But a new study shows that 4 out of every 5 people that carry those BRCA mutations are never screened for it. Half of the time, it's because women don't meet a set of criteria, the guidelines that tell doctors who to test. The result? Women don't know they're at risk until it's too late. The study's results suggest that those guidelines need updating. Rest assured, your overall risk of carrying a BRCA mutation is still very small. But this new information may get more women the screening they need. With this Medical Minute, I'm Linda Lopez, ABC News.
Breastfeeding is apparently the best feeding for babies. A new study says benefits include lower obesity, slower weight gain, and lower BMI scores. The World Health Organization calls for breastfeeding exclusively for at least a baby's first 6 months, but mothers who have trouble producing a lot of milk don't need to fret about using formula. Researchers say any amount of breast milk is good. The more, the better. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, a political ad with a major twist now going viral. How a candidate's opponent used his own family against him. And coming up at 6:30, we'll tell you how a local church is hoping to rebuild after a lightning strike left it damaged over the weekend. But first, let's take a live look at the Ringling Causeway. It's still dark out there right now, only 6:20 this morning, but soon it'll be busy as traffic gets moving. Stay with us. You're watching ABC 7.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Conquer your next adventure. Get a new Jeep at a great price during Jeep Adventure Days at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers, or get the most awarded SUV of all time, a new Jeep Cherokee, for as little as $19,999. Find the path to your next great adventure in the all-new Jeep Compass for just $17,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota today.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid. Your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-965-2704.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-965-2704.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Thank you.
You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Welcome back. Take a look at these images of a town in Greece covered in spider webs. From street signs to trees, many things in this small town are draped in spider webs. Scientists say the balmy weather there is creating ideal conditions for spiders to multiply. Basically, hot weather equals more gnats, which equals more spiders, which means more webs too. Local officials say they expect the number of spiders in town to drop as temperatures begin to drop too. A political ad with a major twist is now going viral. It starts like a typical attack ad criticizing an Arizona congressman, but it ends with a huge surprise when you find out who's delivering the message. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has the story in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the ad targeting Arizona Republican Paul Gosar, voters venting their complaints about an incumbent.
Paul's absolutely not working for his district.
But look closely. Notice a certain family resemblance?
My name is Tim Gosar. David Gosar.
Grace Gosar. Joan Gosar. Jennifer Gosar.
The congressman's own brothers and sisters.
I endorse Dr. Brill.
Dr. Brill wholeheartedly endorsed Dr. David Brill for Congress.
The congressman lashed out on Twitter, dismissing his siblings as liberal Democrats who hate President Trump and disgruntled Hillary supporters. Like leftists everywhere, he said they put political ideology before family. Stalin would be proud, adding, "You can't pick your family." And we'll have more on Gosar coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, New York.
Ahoy! Gotcha!
Quick! The quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker and is 2 times more absorbent than the leading ordinary brand. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. On a budget? Try new Bounty Essentials.
When you feed yourself some oats, the oats feed your body fiber. Fiber helps keep things moving through your system, which is great, because when you're good to your system, it'll be good to you.
Feel the clarity of non-drowsy Claritin in relief from symptoms caused by over 200 allergens, like those from Buddy. Because stuffed animals are clearly no substitute for real ones. Feel the clarity and live Claritin Clear.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a right-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small, so Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
Cancer doesn't run in my family. That really was the farthest thing from my mind. I've been an athlete my whole life, and I work in sports, so my mindset was just, let's fight. So our stories are all unique, so whatever you're going through, ask questions, get information, and be involved. Don't ignore the signs. Join the fight. I'm Tony Beasley, and I'm a stage 2 colorectal cancer survivor.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go.
Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
My name's Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6:30.
Coming up, we'll tell you when a Pinellas County father accused of throwing his daughter off a bridge near the Sunshine Skyway is expected back in court. Plus, how a local church is hoping to rebuild after a lightning strike left it damaged over the weekend. And we'll tell you what local tourism officials are doing to try and get more visitors back on area beaches. Those stories plus your Monday forecast on this half hour of Good Morning Suncoast. Welcome back. I'm Erica Jackson. Ray and Stephanie have the morning off. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's head back over to First Alert meteorologist John Scalzi for the latest look at your forecast.
Yeah, it looks pretty quiet for the morning commute. I think not much in the way of a rainfall chance. High pressure again, the dominant feature nosing in from the Atlantic, bringing us rain-free skies. But the easterly wind already evident on our radar imagery by a few scattered showers over on the east coast, gradually drifting toward the coastline. I think as we head into the afternoon, more of those showers will be crossing the peninsula into our area, bringing about a 40% chance of rain along with it. Mid-70s rather in inland areas closer to the coast, near 80. Daytime high today around 91 or 2. Complete forecast coming up in just a few.
John, thank you. Taking a look at your First Alert traffic, just a few slowdowns coming over the bridges into Manatee County, but other than that, all clear right now at 6:30. In North Sarasota County, not too much to report right now, just a few slow spots, and in South Sarasota County, just a few slowdowns on US 41. Developing overnight, deputies are working a shooting investigation right now in Sarasota County. Investigators say it happened on Sunday on Myrtle Avenue in Nokomis. As of right now, there is still not a lot of information being released on what exactly happened, but officials say all parties involved are accounted for and there is no threat to the community at this time. A man is facing charges after crashing into another vehicle before fleeing from a pursuit. Deputies say they were first alerted to driver Cole Roach on 5th Street East in Bradenton. Roach slammed into another vehicle at a red light before driving away. Investigators say Roach appeared impaired and fled when deputies tried to pull him over, turning onto a dead-end street before leaving his vehicle behind and taking off on foot. A perimeter was later set up and a canine tracked him down to a backyard. That's where he was found hiding in a vehicle. There were no injuries reported. Roach is being charged with several counts, including pursuit, DUI, and burglary. A Punta Gorda teen is facing charges after threatening to shoot up Northport High School's homecoming dance. Police say 19-year-old Anthony Grimaldi was arrested after making the threat to a female at the school. The victim says Grimaldi sent her text messages saying he was coming to her house and was, quote, strapped. He also allegedly told the victim if she went to the homecoming dance and danced with other boys, he would, quote, go there and shoot everyone. Investigators say a tenant of the home where Grimaldi is currently staying told police that Grimaldi had a 9mm handgun and an AR-15, but the guns belonged to someone else. Grimaldi is now in custody on a $300,000 bond. New developments to a big story here 3 years ago when a Pinellas County father allegedly threw his 5-year-old daughter off a bridge near the Sunshine Skyway. Deputies then arrested John Johnchuk as he drove into Manatee County. ABC 7's Marla Spence is live in the studio with the latest on that case. Marla?
Well, Erica, this morning, prosecutors and public defenders are meeting today to pick a new trial date for John Johnchuk. The 28-year-old was arrested in Manatee County after allegedly dropping his 5-year-old daughter to her death from a bridge near the Sunshine Skyway back in 2015. Now today, jury selection was scheduled to begin, but during a pre-trial hearing last week, the decision was made to postpone the start of the trial. John Chuck's defense team filed a last-minute motion asking the judge to exclude the testimony of one of the state's expert witnesses. An expert witness and a doctor for the state believes he was sane at the time of the incident. The defense called for another doctor to rebut that testimony, but prosecutors said they did not have enough time to prepare for that new doctor last week, resulting in the trial setback. Now, although the defense plans to argue John Chuck is not guilty by reason of insanity, it is documented that he's been receiving treatment at a state mental hospital since being arrested. Now, the night of the arrest, John Chuck was speeding roughly 100 miles per hour, approaching the Dick Meisner Bridge when an off-duty officer pulled the car over, and it was then that officer witnessed John Chuck throwing his 5-year-old daughter Phoebe into the water.
The officer went directly to the bridge to see if he could locate the child in the water. The officer called out what he had just seen. He went off the side of the bridge, down a ladder to get to the water to see if he could locate the child.
John Chuck drove 30 minutes south into Manatee County on I-75 to the University Parkway exit, where he was arrested. If convicted, John Chuck could face life in prison for a crime that often seeks the death penalty. Today's hearing will discuss when the trial will be set. Erica?
Marla, thank you. A Sarasota church is in need of repair after it caught fire over the weekend. Sarasota County Fire and Rescue were called to the Sarasota Alliance Church on Bee Ridge Road, just east of the interstate. The investigation is ongoing, but with storms in the area, it is believed to have been caused by a lightning strike. The church mostly taking damage to its steeple area. Luckily, no injuries were reported. Red tide conditions are fluctuating every day, but even when our beaches are mostly clear of red tide, the parking lots remain empty. Right now, Sarasota Bay is mostly clear of dead fish, but nearby on Lido, Key, and north on Anna Maria Island, there are still dead fish and respiratory irritation reported. Manatee tourism officials say they feel comfortable inviting locals out to enjoy the shops and restaurants on our barrier islands, but say right now isn't the best time for tourists to get a first impression of our beaches.
We want to make sure that if we're putting a brand in the marketplace, that our beaches are of quality, the sugar white sands, the turquoise waters that they expect.
Tourism officials recommend checking beach conditions online before heading out the door. And it isn't just the tourism and people suffering from red tide either. We may have seen the first alligator casualty last week. A 4-foot alligator was found dead along the Gulf shoreline of Don Pedro Island, just off of Englewood. Resident Jack Ford is a Turtle Patrol member. He spotted the reptile during his patrol, but it's not the first creature he's seen dead on the beach lately.
The crabs were all being killed by the tens of thousands, and as I looked into the surf, there were still live ones that were weak, kind of undulating in the waves, waiting their turn to be swept up on the shore. And the alligator was right in the middle of that.
Ford said he also came across a dead gar over the last 2 weeks, an unusual fish species to be found among the typical marine life that die from red tide. And it may not be from red tide, but as cleanup from Hurricane Florence continues and residents face even further flood damage, North Carolina fire crews made a stunning discovery. Dead fish scattered across a highway. Take a look at that. The local fire department was hosing down Interstate 40 when they first spotted the fish. At least 44 people have died since Hurricane Florence slammed into the Carolinas, and officials warn that though the rain has subsided, the flooding danger is far from over. And remember, you can find all of our red tide coverage, including answers to your most asked questions, online at mysuncoast.com and click on the red tide tab. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll take a closer look at how new tariffs could take a major toll on your wallet over the next few months. And we'll show you the scene from Tiger Woods' first PGA Tour win in over 5 years. But first, let's take a look at our tower cam that's located outside of our studio. You can see days starting to break, and now let's check in with John Scalzi.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice out there, doesn't it? Yeah, beautiful sky. So we are watching today a chance of rainfall beginning and traveling through the afternoon hours. Daytime highs will top out in the lower 90s with a 40% chance of rainfall. We've checked the rain box today on the forecast, and that will include a chance of later afternoon showers. Forecast in a minute.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Selfless service is the guiding principle of every Army National Guard soldier. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. To be an Army National Guard soldier is to serve something greater than yourself. Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Air temperature 76 degrees. We have a dew point value coming in at 75. The combination of the two make it feel kind of sticky outside at 97% relative humidity. As we move through the morning hours, we'll have this mix of sun and fair weather clouds. That'll bring us to a temperature by afternoon of about 92 degrees for a daytime high. We'll go with 91 by around 3 p.m. with a 40% chance of showers building inland first, and then those showers drift back to the coastline. A familiar scenario thanks to an easterly wind which remains in place. That east wind providing a few scattered showers for the other coast, while locally everything's very quiet. We really don't see much in the way of any issues here locally for your morning commute. The easterly wind brings those showers across the coast. They meet up with our west coast sea breeze, and boom, the showers and thunderstorms build along a line in inland areas and gradually drift to the coast, where they basically fall apart and die out during the overnight in Gulf waters. High pressure stays with us through the remainder of the week, really, and this easterly flow will continue right into the weekend. So we look for the light wind out of the east to turn west each afternoon as the sea breeze begins to form. We look for inland storms to be west movers heading to the Gulf, and we look for warm temperatures, perhaps record-breaking warm temperatures, as we head into the end of the week. Couple of tropical disturbances which we continue to monitor. One, subtropical storm Leslie, the other a tropical depression Kirk, and the third a disturbance. Tropical disturbance 1 is an interesting one, and we'll have to continue to watch it. It really won't affect the state of Florida, but it could have an impact on the Carolina coastline. 40% chance of development over about 4 days. Almost all computer models recurve that system back out into the open waters of the Atlantic, but not before taking it pretty close to the Carolina coastline. And with this kind of a configuration, it could mean some additional rainfall for an already drenched Carolina coastline, maybe an additional 2 inches of rainfall. Most of the heaviest of the weather would be out in the Atlantic waters, but of course it bears watching with a track like that. And most computer models do not suggest development, but some computer models do, and that's why it's given that slight chance of risk of development over time. Tropical Depression Kirk also bears watching, not because it's forecast to become any kind of a strong superstorm, but still because it's forecast to move westward, maybe becoming a tropical storm, but then probably eventually dissipating as it encounters some very strong winds aloft by the time it hits the Caribbean over the weekend. Still, we'll continue to watch that one as well, as it remains south of Florida and deserves being watched. Southeast wind switches to the west with the sea breeze at about 10 knots, becoming more westerly during the afternoon and early evening. 40% chance of showers today, about 92 a daytime high. Tomorrow, I think we'll have about a 30% chance of rain. That's true for the next several days. Then perhaps some slightly drier air will work its way into the picture and will reduce the rain chance as we head into the weekend. Erica?
John, thank you. Taking a look at your first alert traffic, just a few slowdowns coming over the bridges into Manatee County. But other than that, Manatee County looks clear right now. In North Sarasota County, not too much to report at this hour, just a few slow spots. And in South Sarasota County, just a few slowdowns on US 41. In consumer news, there is a new worry ahead for retailers and customers alike on how new tariffs could take a major toll on your wallet. ABC's Janae Norman has a closer look.
Tonight, retail giants are sounding the alarm, bracing for price hikes and warning American consumers could bear the brunt of a new round of U.S. tariffs. 10% tax on certain Chinese-made goods goes into effect Monday ahead of more tariffs early next year.
The concern is that if the tariffs go up in 2019, prices could potentially go up.
Price increases could impact essential everyday items from food and furniture to backpacks and bicycles. Walmart, Sears, Target, Kohl's, Gap, Macy's, and Dollar General are among the hundreds of retailers asking the administration to rethink the plan. Experts say consumers won't see the price increases immediately, as stores already stocked up their inventory months ago, and holiday prices should be largely unaffected. But the National Retail Federation saying in a statement, the administration continues to advance harmful tariff policies that threaten to weaken the U.S. economy. We cannot afford further escalation, especially with the holiday shopping season right around the corner.
That was Janae Norman reporting. So far, none of the major retailers have said how much prices could go up. Experts say if you're thinking about making any big purchases, try and buy sooner rather than later so those price hikes don't hit your wallet. And Papa John's is considering dropping the apostrophe in its name. The company filed a trademark with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for a sleek, boxy new logo that removes the apostrophe from Papa John's. A company representative said there are no immediate plans to start using the new logo. Papa John's recently launched 2 ad campaigns seemingly designed to win back customers and employees disappointed in the company's controversial founder, John Schnatter, who resigned as chairman in July after news broke that he had used the N-word on a conference call. And Porsche says they are getting rid of diesel engines in their cars. The company says it will now focus on hybrid and electric technology moving forward. Diesel has never been a major part of Porsche's portfolio. In 2017, it made up just 12% of its global sales. In entertainment news, the latest box office race really wasn't fair. Why? The winning film had magic on its side. Here's David Daniel with the weekend's top 5 films.
A 6th straight top 5 finish for Crazy Rich Asians, which ran its domestic total to $159 million with a $6.5 million weekend. The Predator fell from 1st to 4th place on ticket sales of $8.7 million. The Nun dropped a spot to 3rd, earning $10.3 million.
Did you just take my picture?
Erase it. I guess I'm probably not the kind of person you're normally friends with.
Oh, you do not want to be friends with me. Trust me.
A Simple Favor rose to second place in its second weekend, taking in $10.4 million.
That's a lot of clocks.
Well, what constitutes a lot is really a matter of personal taste. For me, it's a perfect amount of clocks.
The weekend's longest title was also its biggest movie. The House with a Clock in Its Walls debuted at #1, opening with $26.9 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Get ready, action movie fans. A third Kingsman movie is headed our way. Matthew Vaughn, who wrote and directed Kingsman: The Secret Service and Kingsman: The Golden Circle, is set to return for the third installment of the series. Each movie has made more than $400 million worldwide, but you will have to wait a while for its release. Kingsman 3 isn't due out until November of 2019. Alec Baldwin has agreed to don the swirly blonde wig and orange spray tan for the upcoming 44th season of NBC's Saturday Night Live. Baldwin won his third Emmy Award in 2017 for playing Trump on SNL. Show producer Lorne Michaels says Baldwin confirmed his return at the U.S. Open last week. Michaels also said that Baldwin's interpretation of the president would be a tough act for anyone else to follow. SNL returns September 29th with Star Wars actor Adam Driver as guest host and Kanye West slated to appear as the musical guest. In sports news, even if you're not a fan of golf, it was a great day in Atlanta yesterday because Tiger Woods became a PGA Tour winner once again. More than 5 years after his last win and 4 surgeries on his lower back, Woods built a 5-shot lead early, ending his comeback with a dominant victory at the Tour Championship. Woods raised both arms over his head after he tapped it in for par on the 18th hole. This is the 80th victory of his PGA Tour career, and as you can see, Woods sent thousands of fans into delirium watching the return of golf's biggest star. And happening tonight, it's a big game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers on ESPN's Monday Night Football game. The Bucs are off to a hot start at 2-0 and have sole possession of first place in the NFC South, while the Steelers are still looking for their first win. Kickoff is set for 8:15, and let's go Bucs. We'll be right back with your top 7 headlines before 7 o'clock. But first, let's take a live look at the Ringling Causeway in Sarasota. It's still dark out there now, but it'll be busy soon as morning traffic gets moving. It's 6:51 right now. Stay with us. You are watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
The final 2018 Accord clearance is now during our Model Year In clearance sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American Car of the Year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for new Accords. All on clearance this week at your local Honda dealer.
It's hard to see when you're outside at night. It's time for the Atomic Beam Sunblast, the new solar-powered light that's super bright. Atomic Beam Sunblast lets you add a light anywhere, and the atomic solar panels charge the built-in lithium-ion battery quickly. Then the 180-degree motion sensor turns on the light when you get near and automatically turns off when you disappear. Look, here's a best-selling outdoor solar light. And here's the Super Bright Atomic Beam Sunblast. Get the Super Bright Atomic Beam Sunblast for only $19.99. But wait, call right now and you can double your order and get a second Sunblast, plus our best-selling Atomic Beam Flashlight. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 Atomic Beam Sunblasts and the Atomic Beam Flashlight. Call now.
Call 1-800-431-6640. That's 1-800-431-6640. Or visit mysunblast.com. So call 1-800-431-6640. Order now.
The Players Center presents the wild Broadway season opener, Annie, Get Your Gun. There's no business like show business. This slice of magical American musical theater will thrill you with the classic tunes of Irving Berlin. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. Annie, Get Your Gun, September 18th through October 7th. Let's go on with the show.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Welcome back. Here are the top 7 things you need to know before you head out the door at 7. First, let's head over to John Scalzi with the latest on your First Alert forecast.
Well, as you head out the door this morning, 2 things I suggest you take: sunglasses and your water bottle. You'll need them both, I think. It's going to be a warm, steamy afternoon. We will get some showers around, about a 40% chance of that. They'll build inland, they'll move to the coast. Daytime, the temperature currently as you head out the door, 76 degrees, and it's pretty high humidity as well. Don't forget, we're with you on our First Alert weather app and social media. Back to you.
John, thank you. Number 2, in your First Alert traffic, Sarasota County roads are still all clear right now at 6:54, but traffic is building up over the bridges heading into Manatee County, so keep that in mind for your morning commute. Number 3, a new trial date is being discussed for John Johnchuk. He's accused of dropping his 5-year-old daughter to her death from a bridge near the Sunshine Skyway back in 2015. Number 4, Bill Cosby will be back in a Pennsylvania courtroom for the first day of his sentencing hearing today. Cosby was convicted back in April on 3 felony counts of drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constand in his home in 2004. Number 5, Congress is considering a relief package to help with Florence recovery efforts. The package would include almost $2 billion in relief funding, but lawmakers are already facing a deadline this week to fund the government before the start of the new budget year. Number 6, a Sarasota church is in need of repair after it caught on fire over the weekend. The investigation is ongoing at the Sarasota Alliance Church on Bee Ridge Road, but it is believed to have been caused by a lightning strike. And finally, number 7, what's trending? Take a look at this rare 2-headed copperhead snake found in a Virginia backyard. The snake is currently being cared for by a private breeder. National Geographic says 2-headed snakes are extremely rare and typically develop the same way as Siamese twins. And I don't care if it's a 2-headed snake or a 1-headed snake, but I don't want to see a snake at all.
No, especially a copperhead.
Right, I agree. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on ABC7 News at noon.